to win. So I think for us, we're just all about going to try to win races, and I think we have all the resources and tools to do that, and we're trying to focus those in the right areas to make sure we're ready for this season.
Well, you kind of broke out in the summer shootout when you kind of got into racing. They're celebrating the 25th anniversary this year. What are some things you learned in the summer shootout, and what's it going to mean to you to come back and race at Charlotte now in a Cup car for the first time?
Well, Charlotte's always been special to me. I mean, growing up there watching races, you go there as a fan first, and as a kid, you're up there watching guys that I'm racing against now. So that's a lot different. But I would say the summer shootout taught me just to be aggressive. It's short track racing, and it was really my start. You know, Daniel Hemrick and I were always racing there together, and now we're kind of progressing through the ranks. And I think you always hold on to those relationships you build there with the people that you do, and the philosophy and mentality that you have to race those cars is very similar to how you got to race the Cup Series.
And running a Cup car at Charlotte, what's it mean to you this year? The fact that you started there in a Legend car, you've driven there in a truck, you've driven there in an Xfinity car, now you're in the biggest car possible. Are you surprised that it's been such kind of a meteoric rise for you there?
Yeah, it's surprising, but also I want to have more success at Charlotte. I've been there a couple times, in the Xfinity Series and Truck Series, and hopefully we can win there. I think that would be one of the biggest wins of my career, to win at my home track and be able to, have the 24 car back in victory lane there. So we're going to try hard to do that. Hendrick is just kind of down the road from Charlotte, and you always pass by there. So makes you think about racing season and makes you look forward to that race.
What do you like about Grubb?
Darian's got the experience. He's been with a lot of different drivers, and he's won with, I think, every one of them. So you don't find people like that very often. And I feel like he's a really good asset to our organization. He's won, a championship in the Cup Series with Tony Stewart, and they went on an incredible run. And I feel like we're both most comfortable when we're around the racetrack and we're working in that environment. So I feel like the combination of the two of us working together is going to make for good calls, and it's going to make for, aggressive decisions. And I feel like he's pretty aggressive with how he approaches the weekend, and you want somebody like that that's not afraid to go after it.
Do you have any kind of strategy to try and get some of Dale Jr.'s fans back behind you?
I don't know. I think results just show that the most. I think if you can produce results, people are going to start to look at who you are as a person, and that personality is going to develop and grow as you get in more situations. So I think the biggest thing I'm going to do is try to produce results, and if that gets more fans and more excitement around the 24, then I think that's going to be good. But also Jeff is kind of working behind the scenes to transition those fans over to our car, and I think that hopefully they can find their excitement and joy at the racetrack and in watching us succeed.
What has Chase told you about the Camaro tire test?
He hasn't told me much. It's hard to tell at a tire test. You're always going through a lot of different combinations and everything. But I think the car drove well, and I think I get a chance to drive it next week at Vegas, so I'll see for myself. But it looks really good, and the guys are putting a lot of effort into it. I've never seen so many people work this hard at an organization to put the best car on the track. So I know that's going to equal results.
Has it set in yet that not only are you driving the 24, which you and I have talked about before is a historic thing for you, but the possibility exists of you becoming the only other guy besides Jeff Gordon to win with that number in the Cup Series?
Yeah, it's a really cool opportunity that I have to do that. I mean, Jeff's won 93 races, and I get a chance to add to that legacy, especially with the same team and everything. So that part is something you look forward to. And when you have guys like Jeff or Jimmy behind the scenes that are helping you be a better driver, you can't ask for much more as a rookie. So I think I have all the chances to do it, and I have all the resources I need.
What kind of lessons have you tried to soak up from guys like Jeff and Jimmy already?
Jimmy's really he approaches the sport so differently. He works so hard, and I think that his work ethic is something I can really look at and try to emulate. I think he's always looking at ways to be better, and that's what I want to do, is try to do the same.
Have you guys started to give him a hard time at all about how much older he is than you.
Yeah, he's kind of the grandpa of the organization, but he's it's awesome just to have a 7-time champion as your teammate and have a person to lean on like that is really special. So I think he's gonna take us to school a few times probably, but we're gonna hopefully learn from it and be better.
When we talk about age, being 20 years old, your impact on the fan base of the younger fans is going to be wonderful for NASCAR.
Yeah, I hope so. I think that the best thing I can do is just try to be myself and try to really show what I can do on the track. I find a lot of people that are excited, about how I race or how we go about things, and if we can just continue to make it exciting on the track, I think that as a kid, younger guy in this sport, it's, I just want to make it exciting, and I want to have fun races on the racetrack and be able to race some of the guys I used to look up to.
Do you feel like you need to do more social media because of that, or try to energize your fan base?
To do more of it?
We have more social media as far as like Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think social media has been a big part of kind of the growth of the younger guys. I think it's normal for us to do it, and I feel like that's going to be critical to kind of grow the fan base. I think it's transitioning to where people are watching updates on their phone or watching, Twitter to see about the race, and you got to make sure you get your reaction out there and show them what you thought about the race and how it went for you.
Is it natural for you to do that?
It's pretty natural. I mean, it's more normal for me to be on my phone and stuff. I mean, my older guys don't do that as much, I guess, but I would say it grows over time. You kind of grow more comfortable. You meet a lot of fans on there that are passionate about your team, and that's what makes it cool. It's kind of that personal connection.
William, what year are you at Liberty University?
So I'm a sophomore right now. So I started back my classes a couple weeks ago and taking that along with racing. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but it's been working out pretty good so far.
So they will continue sponsorship into the Cup Series?
Yeah, they're going to, I think, be on our car for 12 races this year, and that's really good. Mr. Falwell was at Homestead, actually, and he thought that was a lot of fun. So hopefully we get them out to a few races, and they're going to be on the car, and it's going to be fun to have them.
Okay. Was that Jerry Jr. or
yeah,
Tom?
Junior.
All right.
Yeah.
What are you studying?
What?
What
am I studying?
Do you know what you're studying yet?
Business communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over the past 5 years, it seems like every single time that you get into a new car, whether it was the late models, ARC, a K&N, Truck, Xfinity, you've been a natural. It's come so easy to you, almost. Was there ever a point during your career where you felt like you were struggling? And what do you have to do heading into this year to not have that same sort of struggle in a Cup car?
I think I struggled more with handling the relationships early on, how to handle new crew chiefs. I had some guys that were really old school crew chiefs and late models, that I had to learn how to adapt to their style. And then I had other people like Jeff Foltz, who I drove for, that was really a good combination and kind of bridged the gap for me, showed me what it's like he was a driver and he could really tell me what it was like to drive the car, where some guys were older school, had never driven before. So I feel like those were the biggest challenges for me. Darian is just really open-minded, so I feel like that's going to be beneficial for me. And he's worked with guys that are really established and know how to go about, racing these cars. So I think I'm going to lean on him to show me what those guys did during the week and how they prepared themselves.
So the driving side of it, that has been almost as seamless as it looked like?
I mean, I think so. I think there's challenges here and there with different racetracks. But it's been one of those things that is just natural, I guess, to drive and know how to find speed in the car. But the unnatural part has been working with the guys and managing that to get the best you can out of your race car. But I think you do have to just trust your instincts when you're in the race car. I think you can't think about it. It's just you're going that fast, and you just need to think about, or you need to just not think about it and just go with your gut instinct.
You mentioned that you're going to be racing against some guys that you kind of grew up watching. Is there anyone in particular that you're especially excited to be going up against this year?
I mean, definitely excited about racing guys like Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson. Those are guys that I definitely didn't dream of racing against, but I would say Kyle as well. He's been a guy that I've raced against here and there, late models and stuff like that, but never really toe to toe or fender to fender, but I think that's going to be a guy that I look forward to racing against.
A lot of times you get to see young drivers make a handful of cup starts before they get a full cup year. Is that something you wish you could have had the opportunity to do?
I mean, in some ways, but I feel like starting fresh like this doesn't give me any idea of what it's going to be like. So that can be really good or really bad, but I think that for me, I just get to go in there and have a team that's established that's going to do it. Because if you run part-time, it's not the same. Not everyone's invested in it like they are if you're going out there full-time.
So Xfinity and Camping World, any races scheduled for 2018?
I don't think so. Kind of see what they tell me to do, but right now I'll just focus on the Cup Series. I'll probably do some of the road courses and try to make myself better there.
Speedway Motorsports and NASCAR have really come up with a good idea with this Roval. What are some of your thoughts on that?
I mean, the Roval is exciting. It's I really don't know what to expect. I'm glad they kind of took that last little bit out of it because I felt like that was just going to be really hard to make work. But it looks good. I mean, the chicanes on the front backstretch look like they're going to be good passing zones. The one on the backstretch looks really narrow, so I think there's, if they put some tires up, it's going to be treacherous. But if you can just keep your car in one piece to the end and then have a shot at the guy, I think coming off forward, like with the chicane the way it is, it's going to make for an exciting finish.
Good luck.